we're going to talk about how to rebuild trust once it has been broken in a relationship. So my method is very unconventional, and it is something that I've never heard anybody share or say on the internet when it comes to having issues with trust in your relationship. The most common thing that I've heard is this method. So the person that does the betraying allows the person that was betrayed and hurt in that instance to basically double check whether or not their actions align with their words. So for example, if the betrayal happened on your phone, then your partner would have full access to that phone. In order to build trust over time, they would need to double check that what you say is true, and they would need to basically look through whatever evidence or details they need to in order to help themselves eliminate that risk of distrust. This method is great if both partners are very in tune with themselves, if they are connected, if they want to understand each other, and unfortunately that isn't the case in most circumstances. The other reason why I don't really agree with this method is because it kind of keeps you reliant on your partner. You're basically always going to have in the back of your mind whether or not you should check their phone right now, whether or not you need to verify what they say is true, and it keeps you in that state of kind of being insecure. Another huge problem is usually the partner that breaks the trust has a different view on things and has different values when it comes to the relationship. They might not understand how damaging that little white lie was or that big lie was and what that did to you. So they might be really dismissive when you start to ask them whether or not you can check their phone. They might feel like you're being controlling and you're not trusting them, so they want to build up walls and pull back, which is a natural human reaction, but it also shows that this person isn't mature enough to understand the consequences of all of their actions. I don't want to tell you that this is the time to dump your partner, because if you're in a long-term relationship and the issues aren't big enough for you to just turn away from them and decide that you want to pursue somebody else, you want to try to make that relationship work, but you're now feeling all of this distrust, this video is going to help you with that. So what is my method for solving this issue? Well, the very first thing that we need to tackle is that I think that it's a huge mistake to fully put your trust into another person. And I know everything that I'm saying could be really highly triggering for you, and if that is the case, it just means that you are either not ready to receive this information or that you have a victim mindset where you want to stay the reactor in relationships. So you want to be the one that receives things, and you treat your partner based on the way that you receive things. You don't want to take the power of how your relationship gets to be for the both of you. Please take everything that I say with a grain of salt, and before you decide whether to accept my advice or completely disregard it as trash, just give yourself some time to actually process and see whether or not this is useful for you. I would encourage you to hear out the entire thing, because this may be the one solution to all of your problems. I believe that it's a very faulty idea to put your complete trust into another person, especially when they've already showed you that they're capable of breaking it. My personal opinion is that you should not rely on outside circumstances to feel secure and safe in your relationship. You should be betting on yourself and building trust with yourself to know that no matter what happens, you have you, and you are able to take care of yourself as an adult. That you're going to have your back no matter what. And so regardless of your situation or what other people do around you, you have you. You can rely on yourself to feel secure, to feel seen, to feel loved. So how about we eliminate the risk of feeling betrayed altogether and decide to be our own best advocate and to build a foundation that we can always rely upon, because it's always within us. So why am I suggesting this? Well, first of all, it is going to make you completely independent of any other human being, and not in a bitter way, in a way that opens you up to be more compassionate, kind, and loving to others, because you're doing that for yourself all the time. You're going to be able to have more grace towards others. You're going to be able to see things from a neutral perspective instead of on an emotional high, like we usually are in our most intimate relationships. The neutral perspective is the place that a coach or a relationship expert takes when they're trying to help you through your relationship, because they're a neutral party. They're not high in your own emotions, in your insecurities, in your hurts. And same with your partners. They're not taking sides. They're able to look at the entire situation in its entirety. This is going to open you up to navigating the situation, overcoming the obstacles without feeling like you need to defend yourself or protect yourself from your partner. You'll never again have to worry about what your partner might do, what they might not do, if they're going to keep their words this time or not. You'll be able to live anxiety free. You'll be able to just let things go without feeling like it's a dark cloud over your relationship, holding you apart from feeling connected with your partner. And you'll no longer have to be weighing whether or not that person is worthy of you, whether or not you can trust them again this time. None of those things will be an issue for you. With all of that said, I don't know what your partner did to you, but you do, and that is plenty. The first thing that you need to do is think about 1 to 3 positive things that happened because of this negative interaction that you had. Like, I know your guard is going up right now and you're thinking that this lady is crazy, but I promise you, if you're able to just hear this out and process it later, you're going to be able to reflect on what I said and understand where this is coming from, because this is so mature. This is your higher self. You need to reflect on the negative situation and come up with 1 to 3 things that came out of it that were positive from this. This could just be a realization. It could be something that happened physically in your relationship. It's up to you to think about them. At the very least, find 1 positive thing that this betrayal did for you. You might be thinking to yourself, why are we talking about me when my partner is the one that betrayed me? Well, obviously, your partner is human and they made their mistake. I'm not telling you that what they did was okay and that you should accept it, that this is something that should be happening in your relationship, because if they cross the boundary, that is not okay. But I want you to be able to look at this situation as a valuable lesson. At the very least, we could say that this snapped you into reality instead of living in a fantasy world. That is a good thing. Make sure that whatever reason you come up with, it isn't like a self-defense thing, and it isn't something that has a resentful bitterness towards your partner. It needs to be like a pure, conscious, positive outcome that came from this very negative experience. This is so crucial because we need to realize that everything happens in our life for us. It's not happening to you. And a seemingly negative situation might just be that one thing that gets your attention for you to live more intentionally. Next, you're going to validate your feelings and you're going to decide to be there for yourself regardless of what your partner does. And I really want to stress that this is about you. I don't really care about your partner, what they did, how they are, who they are. I know everybody is flawed, everybody is human, everybody has their own insecurities and issues and reasons for doing what they do, but I don't really care about them. I'm trying to help you work through this and see this from a different perspective instead of feeling hopeless and feeling like there's nothing that you can do about this situation. It just happened and now you can't see them with the same eyes. Your partner is just someone that you didn't think they were, and going into this negative spiral which causes you to resent them and hate them. Instead of doing that, let's try to use this as a valuable lesson to focus on ourselves. I really hate how people have turned this whole self-love movement into something toxic and an excuse to do narcissistic things that further cripple your existence. There are so many things going on that I don't support in the self-love movement. However, if we take the core essence of this, it's a vital skill for any human to have in order to be a better human to everybody else, be a better human to themselves, and to suffer less in this life. It's so important to have compassion towards yourself, have kindness. Be your best advocate and take care of yourself, because when you do that for yourself, you're going to do that for others as a result. Which brings me to the next point. Technically, a healthy human who has matured correctly doesn't need another human being to exist. Yes, we want to feel loved, we want to feel connected, we want someone to share our life with, we want someone to grow a family with, grow old together, share memories, and be our best friend, but you should never rely on any other person other than yourself in order to exist. You should not need to fully trust another human in order to live your life. You are enough on your own as it is by yourself. You should have your own foundation and stop leaning on others to take care of you and placing so much trust in other people that they will keep their word, that they will continue to decide to pick you even if they've made like a long-term commitment like a marriage. Because humans are flawed and they can decide to do things differently, and the only person that you have to live with is yourself. Others can and most likely will choose self-interest in order to get themselves further in this life or to get that gratification they think they need, if it means stepping over you. If you learn to do this, you're going to be so calm, no matter what happens next. And this shouldn't be used as an excuse to be a bitter and horrible person for others. It's just accepting the reality of human nature, human behavior. This is not an overnight process. The more that you do these things, the better that you are going to become at it. If this is something that you've never done before, expect that you aren't going to do it perfectly from your first try. And that's okay, because this is a very individual journey, but you need to find ways that you are able to support yourself. Some people do like inner child work, other people turn to journaling, other people turn to like spiritual practices like praying and being able to grow themselves. And you need to pick something that resonates with you and be able to be the adult that sees everything in life as a growth opportunity. My whole point for this video is to start understanding yourself better, and from that perspective you're able to have compassion towards others and show them kindness and grace and decide what is going to be best for you moving forward. You're going to be so much happier in your life in general and so much happier in the relationship. You're going to stop expecting things from other people, and your whole life is just going to transform into something beautiful. Around 3 years ago, I made this switch in my own life, and I've watched how different my life got to be for me. Many of the struggles that I had completely went away, and I want to have the same happen for you. Because you made it this far in the video, I want to offer you a special intensive program that I have coming up. Everything is in the link in the description box below. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, hit the thumbs up, and share it with somebody who might want to do this with you. I want to wish you the very best of luck in your love life and in your life in general. I want you to love your life and live it with purpose. Let me know if you have any questions down below.